Okay, here are the mods for my Jetson Bolt Pro for June 2021. Spent way too much on the mods compared to the bike itself. So let's do a quick overview. Alright, so let's start from the top here, from the front. As you can see, my handlebar is totally jammed. There's no remaining space at all. Use all the space horizontally and vertically. Also the vertical stem. So this guy here, we have the Hafny 62mm bar end mirrors. These are metal, which is perfect since I've actually had this guy fall down and it scraped it a little bit, but it was okay and the mirrors didn't crack. I should have got the 67mm instead. Those would have been a little bit bigger, a little bit better. And this little remote here, dangling off the edge since there's no more space, is for the back light here. So this is from AliExpress, about $12. And if you press this here, you get the most annoying sound. It's like that sound from Dumb and Dumber. You can turn it to the right. Yeah. And then you can tell it to be quiet. Yeah, so that's the turning signal. That's pretty cool. And over here I got this bell. So I mounted that upside down because there's no more space. It was $15 just to get free shipping on Amazon on other products I was purchasing. It has a nice reverberation sound. And if you go over here, this is the eBuyFire 52 milliamp flashlight here. It gets pretty bright, I would say. It has a good focus beam. And to the left of it is a 10,000 milliamp flashlight from AliExpress, about $40. This one gives a wider beam. So it's actually nice to have these both on at the same time. I usually just run one and then use the other as backup just in case if the battery dies. But yeah, the wide beam and the focus beam really make it great for biking at night. This guy's a Don Peregrino flashing light here. This is about $25 or so. I got them for $15. You can actually buy it on AliExpress for like a quarter of the cost. So search AliExpress for similar products. Over here we got the compass just to keep it old school. Also something I just had to add on to have extra free shipping from Amazon. That's how they get you. And you got the stock reflector here. And then you also have the other Hafny mirror. Just put some reflective tape. You can see like the brake levers here a little bit scuffed. I've had it fall down a couple times since it's so top heavy with all these accessories. And this guy here is the Akaso V50X. So this is $100 on Amazon. Has pretty good stabilization actually, but the wide angle isn't as wide. It does crop in a bit. 4K is quite good. 1080p is interpolated, so it's not very good. So always shoot 4K. I do 4K time-lapse with that. When the sun goes down, due to the small sensor, it's not the best quality, but it's decent. Can't expect too much there. And you can see here, there's the one of two horns. So this is the first horn I got before I got the AliExpress one next to it. And I just put a little mag latch here, so you can just easily plug in a USB cable and it'll just latch on. So here's the sound of it. Clown horn, really annoying whistle, so pretty loud I'd say. And then over to the right of it here is this beast. This is the big horn here from AliExpress. It's also from Juiced Horns, actually rebrands them and sells them for $100. This one was $40 on AliExpress, and also has a proximity alarm, so if you arm it with a key and someone hits it, it'll actually make noise. So let's hear that one. So that's like a car horn. This has actually saved me a few occasions from Vancouver drivers since they're horrible and they'll run you over. Been cut off and almost ran over a few times, and that kind of saved my bacon even if I was driving defensively. So yeah, there's that guy there. As we go back to the front here, we have this cool bag from Decathlon. This is about $25, shipped from Canada. I recommend it to a few members here and they love it too. So the main reason I got this bag is This is my precious cargo here. We got 2 large bubble teas from Blackball. Fresh milk with grass jelly. Yeah, so you can fit 2 large, you can actually fit 4 large total in this bag, maybe even 5. What I've done here is I've actually put like a T-shaped cardboard divider, and I have a bag here on one side, and you got some smaller IKEA bags, those collapsible bags, which are like $1 each. You can kind of get some groceries in there. Got this little hat here from Amazon, which is great for the winter time, and also just my gloves here and sunglasses. So I just kind of compartmentalized it a bit, so it's just you know, it's not just one big circular drum, because when it was just one big thing here, the 2 bubble teas would just fall down, and if the seal's not good on the bubble tea, then it's all like dripped into your bag and you lost all your bubble tea. So and then back here we got the quick release phone holder, which is pretty good. Kind of modified it. I took another from Amazon and Frankenstein to put it mix and matched and put this bigger one here because the diameter is so large on here, so it's actually fits on the vertical stem, since I have no space on the horizontal stem at all. As I mentioned, I didn't want to get one of those extenders since it makes it taller, so if you fold down the handlebars, you got your scratching here because it's actually hitting the ground because it's so wide. It's so tall, I should say. So yeah, so we just kind of kept it compact and did a lot of Tetris, used vertical and, you know, below it as well. So with all the space, I can't fit anything else on there. And I even used some real estate here for a little pump, just in case of flats and whatnot. You can see here, I never use the stock light myself, it's too low, dim anyway. And I got flashing light here, another flashing light here. I got lots of like reflective tape all around. As I mentioned, you know, the Vancouver drivers. I also wear a reflective vest and flashing lights on my helmet as well. And this guy here is great. It holds just enough for like your keys and also your wallet. So you don't have that in your pants when you're biking, because that gets annoying. And then you got the water bottle here. This is just using Velcro. It does slip a little bit, slides in and out, but I put some zap straps on it just to hold it on a little bit more securely. I got these new pedals, these Dr. Bike pedals. I had some other ones, cheaper ones, and I actually hit a pole a little bit and it cracked them. So these guys, they just came in the other day from AliExpress for $15, half the price of Amazon. They're super durable, like, and super heavy too. Like, this is plastic, but it's like if you threw it at someone, you could kill them, I think. It's like twice the weight of the other ones. I'm not crazy about the weight again, but super durable. And then if we go down a little bit here, we got this little bear bell. So that's not for bears, that's just when you're going down the trails and whatnot, or on the street and there's people walking by, just to let them know that there's someone coming, because the bike is so silent. They don't hear you and they're just, you know, dilly-dallying all over the place. They could run into you. And what we have here is another Don Pellegrino light. It's for like a ground effect at nighttime, so you can be fast and furious. You can see it a little bit right now. I'll show you later when it's darker. It looks pretty cool. And then this guy here is from AliExpress. It's like a rainbow light. It changes colors. And yeah, it's really cool because you got the rainbow side and you got the kind of like pink purple side on this guy here over here. And if we go this side here, I just extended the fender a bit because all the dirt and dust and mud was going all up here and onto the chain. So just kind of extended that, and also did the same thing on the back here as well. And then if we go over here, this guy here, I just have my COVID party kit. Got face mask, hand sanitizer, wipes, just some extra tools. This guy here holds my 4 batteries for my Akaso camera in the front. Got another flashing light here. And if we go over here, this is just like a little thing I made from a piece of piping. And what it is here, it's just kind of zap strapped on, and then it gave me a mounting point for my light, because there's nowhere to really mount on the rack. The rack itself here is from AliExpress. It has the 4 bolts on the front rather than the quick release like on the seat. The quick release, they can't tighten enough even if you really torque it down, so they start to move left and right. And I didn't want that. I had to keep torquing it down, even with like rubber inside, so that didn't really help. So I just got this one instead. And you got the this is the default reflector here, just kind of mounted that onto the rack. And if we move up a little bit here, we've got the aftermarket seat. They don't have this available anymore, but it's really good. It comes with this light, which I don't really use, but it's just good to have a spare light. Here's the seat below the saddle and a flashing light from Don Pellegrino. You can also get this from AliExpress even cheaper. Just have my flat repair kit and extra batteries in there and whatnot, just odds and ends. And I think the last thing here to mention is this. So what is this beast here? So this is a 12.8 amp hour Ardu battery from AliExpress, about $150 Canadian, and that gives me quite a bit of range compared to the stock Jetson. Here's a little switch. So if I turn it to the left, it goes to the Jetson battery, and then in the middle it's off, and if I turn it to the right, it goes to the Ardu battery in the back. And this guy here, the 6 amp hour Jetson, gives me 15 kilometers throttle range, throttle only, and 30 kilometers pedal assist. And this Ardu here, this 12.8 amp hour, gives me 30 kilometers throttle only and 60 kilometers pedal assist. So overall, I get 45 kilometers throttle only or 90 kilometers pedal assist. So 3 times the range. Totally worth this upgrade here. You don't have any range anxiety. And then the other thing here, I just put some grip tape because I carry this guy into the bubble tea shops, of course, and they let me bring it in, which is nice of them. And just some more grip tape here because I actually mount this bike on the wall, which I'll show in the other video. This guy here, this whole bike is probably at least 55 pounds over the stock 40 pounds. So it's quite a hefty beast with all these extra accessories, but it's totally worth it. I get a lot of attention, a lot of positive comments. This guy here has 1,000 kilometers so far. I've only had to replace the rear brakes and tighten the front stem folding mechanism a little bit. And I also put some slime in both the tires, the tube slime, not the normal slime, so the red branded kind. Yeah, so put that slime in there because I actually ran over a screw one day on the corner. Luckily it didn't puncture the tube, but after that I got scared. So just made sure, just put some slime just in case. Yeah, and I think that's everything for now. And here's my helmet with the flashing lights I was mentioning. So I know you're not supposed to mount too much stuff on your helmet, just in case if you crash, you take a topple and you don't want to hurt your brain, but just had to put some flashing lights just for safety. So what I did here is this is a secondary light, which I had for my bike, just kind of mounted on with some rubber straps. And on the top here is another flashing light. It has a front flashing light and a rear flashing light. It's from Amazon, about $50, a bit pricey for what it is, but it's nice to have that flashing, really bright light in the back there. And the last thing is this guy here. It looks like a mining helmet, so it's just one of those lights that you wear on top of your head when you're doing homework, or just like yard work basically. So it goes here, there's 9 LEDs, super bright, many settings, and the battery is on the back here. So 2 large, I think 18600 cells, lithium ion, so it just charges. So yeah, I know you're not supposed to put stuff on your helmet just in case, but this should fall away pretty easily. It's just cheap plastic, and this guy here too. So that way, you know, I wouldn't really skid too much on my head. Hopefully it would just break away. But I really need the lights. When biking at nighttime, having a helmet light helps a lot, tremendously, in addition to the front lights of the bike itself. Since when you pivot your head, you can see, you know, what's coming up ahead, versus on the front here, you can only, when you turn, is what you see. So it's nice to have them in tandem. Never run this one at the same time. That's just my spare. But I usually run this guy here with one of the front lights here. So yeah. Alright, so here are the lights, a little darker environment, so kind of cue the music by The Weeknd, Blinding Lights. This is with all the lights turned on. I never run them all on at the same time, just for backup. So I got duplicate lights, the front and rear and the sides. So here's that After Effects ground kit I was mentioning earlier. So on the front, over here, You got the purple slash pink, and then on the rear side you got this cool kind of changing rainbow effect. So if you want to look super inconspicuous, definitely run all these lights at the same time. There's the rear blinker light, the Don Peregrino light, also a light on the bike seat. And I never run all of them at the same time. I usually just run one light on the back, front, or side. Here's the helmet light. See, it looks like a mining helmet. Super bright and super cheap. The lighting kit was only, I think, $20. Versus other lighting kits, the professional biking lighting kits, $100 or so, at least. Plus it came with an extra set of lithium-ion rechargeable batteries as well. And it will last me for more than 3 hours on 2 sets of 1850 lithium-ion batteries. So, and I got an extra set too. Okay, so here's a test of the 10,000 milliamp AliExpress flashlight. As you can see, it has a nice wide beam, so it's good for the periphery if you want to see stuff all around you. Turn that off. And here is the 5200 milliamp e-bi-fire light. As you can see, this one here has a nice focus beam, so if you just want to see stuff straight ahead, not too much on the periphery. Now let's also turn on the e-bi-fire at the same time. Oh, there you go. So now you can see everything. You can see the periphery and everything in the center. So I usually have these aimed down, just so that other cyclists don't get blinded. For example, if I'm in a dark forest, but sometimes they still get angry, but nothing you can do. Either you run into a tree or you blind them. So, and lastly, here is the game changer, is if I turn on my helmet light here. So that now has 9 LEDs on the helmet. And that little spotlight here, I can, whichever way I turn. So if I'm turning the steering wheel this way, I'm looking that way, or if I'm turning around, up, down, left, right, I can see anything where my head is moving, and also which way, anything that is turning on the swivel on the handlebar. So it's good when you're going down night trails, and when you're turning, you know, you can't really see everything that's coming up, and when you turn your head, you can see everything else, and you can put a spotlight on anything that you want to see in the distance. So yeah, it's super bright. It definitely helps a lot at nighttime, especially if you're going through a dark forest. Not really recommended, but yeah, if you really want to make sure you don't run into anything, yeah, you can use this. And if you see anyone that's going to bother you, just flash your lights at them and blind them, and then just bike away. So actually, one time I was in Trout Lake Park and biking in the middle of the night at 10 o'clock or so. It looked like this sketchy guy, like maybe 35-year-old homeless person. He was sitting on the bench, and then he yelled to me, "Hey man, I like your lights." I'm like, "Thanks." And he says, "I'm gonna F you up, man." And he ran towards me. So I just like flashed him in the face and then biked off. So yeah, he's super jealous of my lights and my clown bike. So yeah, you never know. Excuse the mess, but here's my Jetson Bolt Pro mounted on the wall. So this hook here is from Amazon, and it holds up to 40 pounds. With all my accessories, the Jetson's probably 55 pounds now. It's a heavy beast. That's because of the battery back here, the secondary battery. But we have the hook up there, mounted into a stud, 3 extended screws. And here are my 2 chargers. So one's for the Jetson battery, the other one is for the Ardu battery from AliExpress. And I also just have another charger here. This is just for the horn. So it has one of those mag latch, so I bought that from AliExpress. And as you can see here, this is one of the horns, and I have another horn just over here on the side here. That guy right there. So it's just a little magnetic strip. for charging. So you can just quickly attach that while it's charging at the same time. So yeah, I can charge the Jetson and the Ardu at the same time because there's two separate chargers. Yeah, and it fits pretty well. Yeah, so here's the hook without the bike attached. So this guy here can actually fold away if you want to. You can put it in here, close it down, and you see there's 3 screws. I bought those from Home Depot. They're a little bit longer than the stock ones. You can close this here if you want. And the cool thing is it's actually reversible. So the way it is right now, the hook enters in from this way, so it's opened on the left side. By default, it's actually the other way around, so it opens on the right hand side. And it works better for my place because the bike just comes in this way instead of putting it around the other way. So that's pretty good. And down here, I just put in like a little Tupperware because the bike wheel is going to be pushing against the drywall. So I just put some Tupperware here, and there is some carpet I put here, and you can see the carpet is like an L shape because you don't want any of the dirt from the fender or for the wheel to go on the floor. So I just kind of built that there with the carpet. And I have my 2 chargers here. This is the Jetson one and the Ardu one from AliExpress. And then the other charger here is just like a USB charger for the 2 horns. And one other thing is I also have this guy down here. It's one of those TP-Link power switches. So you can control it via Wi-Fi with the app, and you can set a timer. So when it's done charging, you can set it to say 5 hours, so it'll shut off automatically. So it's not charging overnight, just so you don't have an explosion or whatnot. Hey Google, turn on Jetson.
Alright, turning Jetson on.
Hey Google, turn off Jetson.
Sure, turning off Jetson.
Forgot to mention the main selling point of this hook is you can actually swivel it so it's flat against the wall. So I have a lamp here, but it can swivel back this way, and if there was nothing behind there, I could put it flat against the wall so you can save more space.